Okay, I don't know what was that. Anyway, so you guys have joined this demo session. I'm pretty sure you must have already made your mind to get into cybersecurity field full-fledged. Now, the cybersecurity is one of the most tricky IT fields because it is kind of like a inculcation. It's a very hybrid mixed fruit juice, I like to call it, especially in cybersecurity, because here you're not dealing with a single piece of technology. You deal with literally every piece of technology ever existed. Now, cybersecurity is a blend of all tech. That's what. But if you summarize cybersecurity into 4 points, they will be told four major pillars in cybersecurity that we'll be considering to learn it, to master it, and to gain more experience. These four pillars will be starting with the system architecture. In system architecture, you learn about how the systems operate, how operating systems function, what all is happening behind the scenes, and whatever happens in the computer when you click this particular icon or open a particular software. So we in system architecture, we understand the functionality of your core system, of your core computer, so that we can know that what all is happening, so that we can, protect it more thoroughly. After which we learn about networking methodologies, which is also a very important part, evidently, because this is where you learn about communication. Your computer is connected to the internet. You learn about how the communication is happening, what all protocols are involved, right? You also learn about different kind of services that is required to make those protocols work. So all that is included in networking methodologies. The third pillar or the third point in cybersecurity that we need to know is a little bit controversial, and some of you might get triggered with this particular word, which is called programming. Now, programming is something that you need to know, obviously, to get into any tech domain. You need to know a little bit of programming for sure. But there's a terminology, and I like to call it as it's necessary but not urgent. Thing is, you definitely need to know programming. At some point of time, you will be, excelling in the career. You'll be growing up and you'll be working with more complex pieces of technologies. You need to understand how those were built. If I'm working on a piece of software or working with a couple of scripts, I need to know how the script were written or how that particular software was made. And in order to reverse engineer all that, you need to know programming. But it's not urgent that you need to know it right away before you're starting your learning journey. Okay. So if you're learning from day one with no prior knowledge of tech whatsoever, it's absolutely all right. See, in my 10 plus years of experience, I have taught people from literally any domain. I have taught ex bakers, army men, and athletes. They have also chosen cybersecurity as a career. And guess what? Like they are on pretty good positions now. So what I mean to say is, you are not required to be a tech genius to begin with. Definitely, your interest is what's important, and that's what brought you here. So the interest will literally convert itself into dedication to learn more complex concepts, right? The fourth and the most important one is called the social engineering factor. Now, social engineering is all about the mindset of how a hacker works. See, You are going to work as a cybersecurity engineer in a particular company. The position, the job description may vary, but your ultimate goal will be to provide the absolute protection. Right. In that case, you are protecting them against the black hat people, the bad guys, basically. So, to make sure that you provide them absolute protection, you need to know where the bad guys can attack. So you got to think like the bad guys. And that's exactly what social engineering is all about. This gives you the mindset of how a particular attack can be made. What are all the possible potential intrusion points where this kind of attack can be made? And that's what we learn in social engineering. How humans also contribute into the security infrastructure of a particular organization. Humans are one of the most key factor, right? In social engineering, there is involvement of a lot of technical parts. For example, we you will be building a couple of websites. You will be dealing with people. Obviously, people are the most important part. So yeah, that's these are the four pillars of cybersecurity that we'll be dealing with. Now, definitely, our whole curriculum is going to be based on these four pillars. Right. Let me just share you some more stuff. Just a second. All right. Approximately, there will be 35 topics and total 10 modules, which will be covering up all these four major pillars in terms of their fundamentals. See, this training program is brought to you with a purpose to provide you a good insight on how things really work, right? Once you understand them, definitely excelling them will be a different part. Experimentation is something we definitely leave an open-ended conversation because that should not be ended anytime soon. So, what we are providing you is we are going to provide you simulations that are built in a such way so that they provide you hands-on experience of how things are working. For example, if you're going to teach you networking methodologies, we got simulations to help you understand how two computers are talking, right? How protocols are actually operational. If you're working with a particular security flaw or security vulnerability, exploitation methods, we have simulations that I have personally built myself, and there are many other open source simulations as well that we use in order to help you understand that how things are working on the ground level, right? So that gives you a better understanding, a hands-on experience, basically, that makes it more engaged learning process. For example, by the way, I just want to know, like, how many of you have ever used Linux? Give me a yes or no quickly, everyone, please. The yes or no could be in the chat box, or you can also unmute yourself. Okay, Rakesh says yes. What about the rest? Wow. Okay, Rakesh says all variants, so I'm pretty sure he must be the experienced guy. Fixing any issues. Correct. When issue started, how do you start? What about the rest of you? And Siva says yes as well. All right, I got a couple of yeses in the chat box, so I'm pretty sure some of you have already used it. Well, see, Linux is going to be a very key player in learning cybersecurity because um, in Linux, what we get is operational freedom. That means it's very flexible. It literally you can customize it to any extent whatsoever. Whatever you want to do, you can do in Linux. We're gonna talk about Linux more in depth in the session, obviously. There'll be a whole session understanding the background and the functionalities and all the commands and understanding the interface and everything else. So we will work on Linux thoroughly for sure. Now, Linux looks something like this. If you can see on the screen, this is a basic window. This is the login screen for the Linux, and it looks pretty much like the Windows one, like asking for a username and a password, pretty basic. I'm going to put the credentials in there, and you'll see me logging into a whole new interface altogether. Now, this interface that we're going to work with, it's called a special type of Linux called the Kali Linux. For those who haven't heard of it, or please just Google it. I mean, because this is your playground. This is where you're gonna spend most of your life now. Right. So, Kali Linux is the interface that we're gonna work with. This little black screen that you see, it is called the terminal. This terminal is how you talk to the computer, right? How you talk to your Kali. This functionality is not just limited to Linux. We also have a similar thing in Windows. It's called the command prompt. It looks something like this. You must have seen it once in a while, I believe. You must have used it at least once to ping Google sometimes when your internet doesn't work. Right, so that's what the command prompt is. Command prompt essentially is the interface for you to talk to the computer more efficiently, and that's exactly what Linux is. Consider the terminal as command prompt on steroids, literally, because it provides you so much more stuff. So we can talk to computer, the computer responds back. There are so many commands we can execute, so many programs that we can execute, and every other program and command have a special functionality. Of course, I will be teaching you all of that for sure. I'll make sure about that, okay? We have multiple simulations, as I said. This is another simulation that we have here. It's called the Metasploitable, one of the most common simulation out there in the field. Just this is one of the best one to understand how basic vulnerabilities work. This is to give you a hands-on experience. See, the thing is, if I ask you to break a chair, you'll require a chair to break, isn't it? I mean, how else would you learn that? So I'll be giving you some dummy chairs to break them and see like how they are broken. So when the next time you'll be breaking them professionally, you know where to hit them hard. Similarly, but in that case, the problem will be that you are not supposed to damage any property owned by anyone else, right? And that is why you provided a dummy chair to practice, isn't it? When you're a boxer, you're provided a dummy to hit upon. You're not supposed to hit a real person to practice. In the same exact fashion, when you are hacking something or when you are performing any security test, you're not supposed to make those things on a real target because, I mean, obviously that can cause any kind of harm whatsoever on the target. To make sure that does not happen and making sure that you are in the legitimate boundaries, we have created simulations so that you can practice X number of times. Now, these environments are built in such a way that whatever you do, it remains in here. It does not affect your main system, or for that matter, it does not affect literally anyone else, whomsoever is in your network or in your home or whatever. So this gives you the freedom of experimentation, of practicing with literally no boundaries. And yeah, that's why the simulations are created. Here we have this one. It's called the Metasploitable. It's a very special simulation. You're going to build a good relation with this one. Now, IP address is one of the most important piece of information about a target. This IP helps you to figure out who the device is. It's basically your identity, you know, like if I have to ask your name, you will be given a name by your parents or whatever, and you have registered it like on your social security number or on your any government ID. Similarly, IP address is also an identity that's provided to you by your router. Router gives you an IP address, and that IP address is unique from anyone else. And through this IP, we can communicate with multiple other devices. Now that I know this is the IP address for my particular target, here it is, 192.168.1.12.
హెడ్ఫోన్ എടുത്തിട്ടോ ഓ పెద్దనుకో
So this gives me the independence, or this gives me the functionality to scan that target because I have its IP now. Now this is my target, so I can literally see the IP address, so that's not a big deal. Now, if I have to scan, I can use multiple tools. Okay, we have so many tools or scripts that can help us do all that. There's one very, very special tool which is called the Nmap, right? Nmap is short for Network Mapper. And by the name, literally it says that it's going to map the network. I mean, how more obvious it can be. So what does that mean when it says network mapping? It means it will be creating, it will basically scan the network or scan that particular target you're going to tell him and give you every piece of information about that target which is available on the network. For example, let's say you go to a bar or you go to a restaurant or you go to any place like Subway or McDonald's or KFC. Now, let's say that you are wearing an identity card. So people can see who you are by reading your name. But if I'm sitting a couple of chairs away from you, that is not possible for me to read that card. So what I can do is I can talk to the waiter and ask him to get you details. That waiter is Nmap. It can get me details for other devices that are having their information public. So whatever is on the network, Nmap can get that for you. All you have to do is ask. So for example, here I'm going to provide the IP address of the target. As you can see, this is the IP 192.168.1.12 for my exploitable. Now when I do Nmap here, you can see it tells me these many details. Obviously, this alphanumeric information might not make sense right now, but trust me, it's going to be so interesting ahead. Nmap is a very, very special tool, okay? You can go do a Google search about it. You can learn more from YouTube a little bit just to give you a warm up. So essentially, in a nutshell, what Nmap right now is doing is it's getting me all the open services that are available on my target that I, as a hacker, can potentially target or perform an attack against. Now, you must be thinking, like, why is it doing that? Because as a hacker, I can literally exploit it or I can destroy the machine. See, the purpose of Nmap is to test. It's providing you all these details so you can work as a legitimate guy and, work towards protecting all these services. A very common rebuttal I get is that why these tools are made because hackers do use them as well. I mean, cars are also used every time to, cause any accidents. That doesn't make you stop driving a car. Or similarly, guns are also made to protect. The army men use it, the police use it, and also the criminals. So everything have a good and a bad side, There are two sides to the coin. So similarly, these tools are made with the purpose of like providing you a good testing experience to help you perform the test and provide the infrastructural security more better by being able to scan the targets. And yes, hackers use them too, for sure. So these things are a little complex to understand, frankly. But once you get a hold of it, it's going to be a piece of cake, and it's going to be also very interesting because how it builds up ahead. Now you see how fast Nmap was in doing all this. It literally did that in less than a second. 0.82 seconds. How fast this is, really. So that's how efficient Nmap is in its job, and you can do so much more with Nmap. So much more. I mean, just take a look here. If I show you, this is my Windows IP address, right? One dot two. 192.168.1.2. That's my Windows IP address, okay? Now, let me just try scanning my Windows IP once. All right, there you go. Okay, we got a couple of open services here. But not only this, I mean, this target could be anyone. Nmap does not know that, and I don't know that as of now. What I can use Nmap for is to get the target details as well. And this time, just because I modified the command a little bit, it can provide me more additional information about the target. As you can see, now it's telling me that I am using a Windows 11 and the probability of using that is 96%. How cool is that? In an aggressive OS guess, it says it's Windows 11, build 21H2, 96%. How cool is this? I mean, Nmap just gave me some additional information just because I modified it a little bit. Now, imagine when I'll be adding some more stuff to it, how amazing Nmap is going to work. It's a little gold mine of information that it can get you. So Nmap is just one of the tools that we're going to work with. There's so many other tools with so many other functionalities and purposes that we work with. Just like this, we have multiple tools, as I said. Our training method is very simple with a 7:3 ratio, where 7 will be focusing on the practical side and 3 will be the theory. So I'm not giving you a sigh of relief by saying you're not going to get any theory whatsoever because, see, understanding theory is very also important. You get the concept, you get the idea of how things are working, and then we jump onto the practical. A general session is going to be 2 hour long, where we understand a theory for like half an hour to 45 minutes. Once you get the hold of it, once you get the concept clear, that's when we start working with the practical. We start executing stuff. There will be times when practicals will even stretch for a longer time, which is absolutely okay. I have no problem in extending as well. So 2 hours is the general duration. The scheduling part, the calendar and everything will be shared to you by the team. I'm not the one designing it, so I really cannot talk about it. Can't really put a word on that. But the sessions are designed in this way, and also we have study material. We have all the video recordings. Every session will be recorded for sure, so you'll be provided the next day, so you can practice anytime later whatever we have done in the sessions. On top of that, I have video recordings of different other courses, professional certification courses and stuff like that. I'll be sharing you time to time. I got a Google Drive of 2 terabytes, and it's literally full of all study material possible that you can find out there, premium kind of content, which will also provide you for free. So that's not going to be a problem. And yeah, in every session, we create notes just like this. I mean, this is just a basic, just to give you an idea. So all the session notes in the detailed document and PDF format will be shared with you. So you can also you will not be having any scarcity of study material for sure. Right. There will be total 20 sessions we'll be taking to complete the whole course. So total 40 hours of training will be there. And in these 40 hours, we'll be learning all these four concepts thoroughly. We'll be starting with the very fundamentals, understanding cybersecurity a little bit more. We'll be working on Linux and networking, after which we will jump on to the cybersecurity concepts like recon, system security, vulnerability assessment, web application testing, and so on and so forth. And at the end, we'll be working with forensics and recovery. A whole curriculum design will be shared with you before the training begins. The team will be, I think, sharing you on WhatsApp or email in some the or the other way. And yeah, that's how we do it here at JOYATRES Technologies. And yeah, this is me, Akash. So you guys got questions? I'm here to answer them. If there's any, you can ask.
Hi Akash.
Hey,
Thank
Doctor. Good to have
Yes,
you.
Thank you for the overview of the
Mm-hmm.
cybersecurity. So
All
I'm
right.
having some silly questions.
It's all right.
You
No
don't.
questions are silly. Yeah.
So currently, I'm working IT professionals with 3 years of experience in storage, infra storage.
Great.
So
Okay.
having view of going with 3 years experience in cybersecurity. So after this course, can I have that confidence and that knowledge to put 3 years experience in cybersecurity?
Okay. So you're saying you're planning to convert that 3 year experience as an IT professional into the cybersecurity experience, right? So here's the thing. First of all, kudos to you for having this experience because 3 years is pretty good enough time to understand the core concepts of IT. And I'm pretty sure you must be having a little bit stronger background in networking for sure. I mean, that's one of the most obvious.
Little
System
bit,
architecture, you
yeah.
understand better. So yeah, I mean, obviously, you can definitely put up I- see, that will work only in accordance to how much effort you're putting in to understand the concept of cybersecurity, because it's all about how you are presenting yourself in the interviews. So if you're working with someone who already have good experiences interviewing you, and if you can elaborately explain the concepts and you know the ins and out of it, I believe you can make that conversion and the transition will be smooth enough. So that can be done. It's not impossible, I'm saying.
So I'm not asking about the cracking interview. I'm asking to survive after cracking the interview in cybersecurity.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. The survival part will be done for sure. See, as I said, it's about the presentation. So now you know how networking works. So you know the protocol's operational details. What we're going to teach you is how hackers manipulate these protocols. That's all you're going to learn. That's an additional thing that you're adding to your skill set. So yes, as a working professional, the survival will be a piece of cake because you already know the fundamentals of how IT works. So that is going to be helping you a big time. So yeah,
Thank you, Akash.
no problem. Any more questions from our people here? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you all. The sessions will be taken on weekends, from what I have been told as of now. If there's any changes on the schedule, you will be told as well. So in the weekdays, you will be having ample amount of time to practice. And if you feel that you need a one-on-one session with me, guess what? It is possible. You will be added to a WhatsApp group. You can simply just leave a message at, hey, Akash, I need some help or I have some questions. Let's get on a call or something like a Zoom meeting. And we can jump on that and we can get this resolved quickly. So that assistance is provided. I work with JOYATRES 7 days a week. So yeah, that will be there as well. So questions are always welcome. No questions are silly, right? I am open to any question whatsoever. Hmm. Okay, that radio silence make me think there are no questions whatsoever. Well, that can be good and bad at the same time. Good because you guys understood literally everything that I said, which is amazing. Um, but bad if you guys are not open to talking publicly, which is absolutely okay as well. You can connect with me personally via JOYATRES representative. If there's any question whatsoever you got, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I work 7 days a week. This is Akash Sharma, and my profile, my details, my experience information will be shared with you if you require. And yeah, I am so glad to have these many people who are interested in cybersecurity. Somebody
Hello,
unmuted. Hi.
hello. Hi,
Hi. Hello.
I have a question for about cloud. Is it cybersecurity including the cloud or only for infrastructure in the on-prem?
See, cloud security, if you work with, it's a whole different new architecture to operate upon. Now, that creates a little more complexity in the concept that we're going to learn. So, this curriculum that is built with keeping in mind that people from various backgrounds might be studying with it. So, we are currently focusing on the infrastructural part of it. But yes, we have separate curriculums and training programs that we also work on cloud and different pieces of technology with them in focus. So yeah, that's in this particular training, we are, yeah, as you said, we're dealing with majorly with the infrastructural security.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Um, okay, on that note, I believe we can wrap up to this session. I'm so glad you guys joined in here and you showed interest. Thank you so much for considering JOYATRES Solutions as your training partner. I wish you guys good luck ahead, and I'm looking forward to have you guys in the session as well. But irrespective of that, you guys stay safe on the internet, take care of yourself, stay hydrated, and yeah, good luck everyone else. I will be looking forward. Thank you and have a great week ahead.